Google expands Gemini integration with one-prompt document creation. GitHub's poster child is walking away, and it's not about cost. Meta loses 20 million users as AI spending surges, and China, not the US, delivers the first real legal protection against AI job losses. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Google is taking another incremental step in weaving its Gemini AI deeper into everyday work tools. The company has begun rolling out a new capability that allows Gemini to generate full documents, including text files, slide presentations, and even spreadsheets, from as little as a single prompt. It's not just helping you write anymore, it's creating an entire first draft of the file. I had a brief chance to test this before we went to air. I asked it to research and write a report on our website, and then turn that into a short slide presentation. Both were produced quickly and looked surprisingly polished. When I tried to do an analysis with a spreadsheet, it took a lot of data and generated a CSV file, which was pretty accurate, but it had to be converted into a table, and I didn't have time to fully verify the accuracy or the depth of that analysis. But this builds on Google's broader push to integrate Gemini across its ecosystem, from Gmail to the browser, and now more directly into productivity apps and workflows. The idea is simple. Instead of jumping between apps or jumping out of Google, you start with Gemini and let it generate what you need. For now, these features appear to be available at no additional cost, at least during an early rollout phase. I saw a message that implied something would change as of July 15th, although Google hasn't clearly defined which features that applies to. Which leaves a couple of big questions. How much of a challenge is this to Copilot from Microsoft or tools from Anthropic and OpenAI? And how much of this will remain free versus moving behind a premium tier? One thing is clear: the race to redefine or even win the productivity tools mindshare is well underway. One of GitHub's most recognizable power users is walking away from the platform, and not for the reasons you might expect. Mitchell Hashimoto, best known as the co-founder of HashiCorp and now the creator of Ghostly, the terminal emulator, says he's stepping back from GitHub after years of extremely heavy use. And he makes it clear just how embedded the platform was in his life, writing that he had to check GitHub constantly, even on his honeymoon. And that's what makes this decision stand out. Hashimoto isn't leaving over pricing or licensing. He points to reliability and trust, saying the platform no longer feels dependable enough for how central it is to his workflow. Ghostly itself reflects that mindset. It's a modern terminal emulator designed with performance and user experience in mind, and it's gained attention for pushing beyond traditional terminal limitations. In other words, this isn't a casual user walking away. It's somebody building tools for other developers. Hashimoto hasn't committed to a replacement yet. By his own account, he's still evaluating alternatives. But for now, he's maintaining a presence on GitHub. But where he ultimately lands will be closely watched. GitHub remains the default platform for software development and open source collaboration. Walking away from it isn't easy, and for most developers, not even practical. But when someone this embedded starts to question the reliability of that foundation, it raises bigger issues, not about cost, not about features, but about trust in the platform everything else depends on. Meta is reporting a rare drop in users, even as it ramps up spending on artificial intelligence. The company says daily active users across all its platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger, declined by 20 million compared to the previous quarter. Meta attributes that drop to internet disruptions in Iran and restrictions on WhatsApp in Russia, but the figure still stands out because it's unusual for a company that has long reported steady growth. At the same time, Meta is sharply increasing its investment in AI. The company now expects to spend between $125 and $145 billion this year, about $10 billion more than previously planned, driven largely by demand for computing power and data center capacity. That spending comes on top of continued losses from Reality Labs, which is still costing the company billions each quarter. Meta's revenue is growing, up 33% year over year, but the company is now managing three competing pressures at once: heavy AI investment, still ongoing metaverse losses, and now signs that user growth may not be as steady as it once was. The takeaway isn't that Meta is in trouble. It's that even at this scale, growth is no longer guaranteed, and the cost of chasing the next platform shift is getting very expensive. The first meaningful legal protection against AI job loss isn't coming from Silicon Valley or Washington or Canada or Europe. It's coming from China. A court in Hangzhou has ruled that replacing a worker with artificial intelligence is not, on its own, a valid reason for dismissal. In the case, a senior quality assurance supervisor was pushed out after his role was taken over by a large language model. When he refused a lower-paying reassignment, the company terminated him. The court ruled that decision unlawful, saying AI adoption does not qualify as a major change in circumstances under Chinese labor law. The numbers help make this real. The employee had been offered about 25,000 yuan a month, about $3,640 and was offered a reduced role at 15,000 yuan, roughly $2,180. The court found that that kind of pay cut was not a reasonable reassignment. But what really matters here is the principles they worked under. Legal experts cited in the case were clear. Adopting AI is a business decision, and companies cannot simply shift the cost of that decision onto the workers. China's AI sector is already worth more than 1.2 trillion yuan, roughly $165 billion, with expectations that intelligent systems will be embedded in most devices within a few years. And that's what makes this ruling stand out. Even as leaders in the AI industry, including Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, have warned that China is rapidly catching up to the United States in AI technology, this decision suggests something else. China may be moving faster in defining the social boundaries of that technology. The takeaway isn't that AI won't replace jobs. It's that, at least in one major economy, the law is starting to say that companies can't treat this as a free pass. And it's not the country most people would have expected to draw that line first. And that's our show. Join us this weekend when the Project Synapse team looks at what's been happening in AI this week. And our sponsor-free summer challenge continues. If we can get 1/10 of our user base to sponsor us for as little as a cup of coffee a month, we'll go sponsor-free for the summer. Go to technewsday.com or .ca, click Donate, and buy me a coffee. Or, since it's summer, a beer. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a fantastic Friday.